Students, myself Miss Rachna Jain, Associate Professor, Department of English, Government PG College, Rajgarh, Alwar. Today in this video lecture, I am going to teach you the poem A Prayer for My Daughter, its summary and theme. This poem is in the syllabus of BA Part 3rd English Literature, Paper 1st, Unit A. Today's topics are the central idea of the poem, A Prayer for My Daughter, and the summary of the poem. This is a personal poem which reflects the gloom of the poet and his fear of a stormy future. The poem was written after the First World War and it reflects the post-war frustration. The war ended in 1919, but Ireland remained disturbed. His infant daughter Annie Butler Yeats, born in 1919, will have to face the challenges of the future. How best could she face the struggles of life? The poet thinks of some qualities or traits of character which can sustain her in the future and make her life joyful and happy. This poem was written in 1919 and it appeared in the volume entitled Michael Robberies and the Dancer 1921. A detailed summary of the poem A Prayer for My Daughter. The poem begins with a description of a violent storm raging outside. The poet's infant daughter is sleeping in her cradle, all covered, well covered, and protected from the storm raging outside. The poet has been walking and praying for his daughter because there is a storm raging inside his soul. The poet's mind is haunted with fear. The poet expresses concern for his infant daughter Annie Butler Yeats. The storm's blowing outside and it makes the poet gloomy. How will his daughter face the world which is becoming coarse and vulgar day by day? He imagines the war drums which forecast the struggle for survival. The cruelty of man is greater than the murderous innocence of the sea. She must have a shield for protection. The shield stands for the qualities which the poet wants his daughter to cultivate. The poet wishes her to have beauty but not vanity. Great beauties like Helen, which here represents his girl, the poet's girlfriend Morgane, and the Venus, the goddess of love and beauty in Greek, stumbled into unhappy marriages on account of lack of courtesy and humility. Morgane married MacBride, a drunkard man and a worthless fellow, and Venus chose lame God as her husband. The poet wants his daughter to cultivate courtesy. A man who marries an inferior beauty may find his reward in the courtesy and kindness of her heart. This is more important than the physical beauty of a woman which catches the eye of a lover. The third quality which the poet wants her to cultivate is natural gladness, which means the scattering of happiness and peace around. He gives the image of the growing laurel tree which gives comfort to all. One thing which he wants her to avoid is hatred. Hatred is the worst of all evils. The mind which is free from hatred can face the storms and misfortunes of the world. Intellectual hatred is the worst of all. The poet mentions Morgane, a paragon of beauty, who has wasted her aristocratic traditions in political arguments. If hatred is replaced by innocence and purity, It can bring joy and consolation to the individual. It will give his daughter an inner peace which cannot be disturbed by misfortune, agitation, or opposition. The poet wishes that his daughter may grow up and get married in an aristocratic family which observes traditional manners and courtesies. There is too much of the arrogance and hatred in the common masses today. Beauty and innocence come from established custom and usage. Ceremony is like the horn of plenty, and custom is like the growing laurel tree, providing shade and comfort to all. The poet's love for a traditional aristocratic life is quite obvious. This is the way of life which he wants his daughter to follow. His own experiences with the Irish masses had sadly disillusioned him. However, he had received sympathy, that of Lady Gregory. The aristocracy was for him a custodian of culture and moral values. Through the summary, we can understand the two main points and the points of view of the poet, such as a question of values, the importance of values, and second is his style of writing. First of all, I tell you something about the importance of values in the eyes of the poet W.B. Yeats. The critics have commented on Yeats' love of tradition and custom. He has not prayed for any Christian values for his daughter. He has only wished for certain abstract qualities like innocence, freedom, kindness, and gladness. He has not mentioned how these qualities can be built up. The ideas that he offers appear theoretical. How such ideas can be realized in an age of democracy and competition is a question which he does not concern himself with. He has only formulated what Wilson calls an essential non-Christian order, whose keynote is a man's sense of his own nobility and self-sufficiency. The poet has expressed his faith in tradition and ceremony, but in a world of changing value, it may be very difficult to preserve these values under the stream of modern civilization. The poet is rather idealistic and has not addressed himself to the challenges which the world is facing today. Second is his style. The poem contains 10 stanzas of 8 lines each in the couplet pattern. It appears to be quite simple, but the poet has enriched it with certain images. The violence of nature, thunderous innocence of the sea, is a symbolic of the violence of man, which is calculated and inexorable. The poet gives many examples of great beauties like Helen, who represents Morgane, Venus, and their beauty proved disastrous for them. There are some images from nature also. The wind and tree image is to be found throughout. First stormy wind outside, and then the horn of plenty is transformed into a windy instrument. Morgane has taken old bellows full of angry wind. The spreading laurel tree, which stands for tradition and custom, is mentioned twice. The intellectual hatred as of Morgane brings its own punishment, and the innocence and courtesy can, however, serve as a refuge or shelter against every windy quarter or bellows burst. All these symbols give great significance to the thoughts expressed in the poem. One may be tempted to say that the poem contains rich stores in a little room. The poem uses a set of wind and tree images The poet balances the real storm with the symbolic storm of future time, which will threaten but will not immediately destroy customs spreading laurel tree. So students, in this video lecture, I have given you the detailed summary with style and symbolism in this video lecture. In the next video, I will explain you stanza wise the poem throughout. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.